Hi everyone, Tony Tonkin here from the Child Protection Party. Glad you could be with me on this rare and wonderful occasion where I'm doing a live feed. Got a few things to report today, but I want to start with a particular item that came across my desk today from the ABC, and this relates to parents suing the Department of Child Protection for inappropriately removing their children. Now, I've actually spoken to these parents some months ago, and I'm delighted to see that this matter has been taken to court and that they've taken some legal action against the department. One of the issues I've had for many years has been about people making decisions about the illnesses that have occurred in relation to children who have been taken to hospital, and it has been deemed that the parents have inappropriately medicated or treated these children, and that the parents have been labelled as having Munchausen's by proxy. Now, Munchausen's is a very difficult disorder to diagnose in the first place, and often the people that diagnose it should not be doing so because they really don't know what they're doing. And in many cases, it's when parents are actually concerned about what's been happening to their children. They're concerned to the point whereby they seek medical help so that they can have whatever the issue is addressed. And often what we find is that if the parent keeps coming back to the hospital or to the doctor and the treatment methods offered do not work, do not rectify the problem, then parents start to panic and they take the child back time and time again until such time as someone can do something about the condition that the kid is suffering. So as a result, sometimes because the parents are so concerned, this gets diagnosed inappropriately and it starts to become something else, like a mental well-being issue, which often seems to be Munchausen's. Now, I've had a number of cases that have been identified as Munchausen's over the years, never had any of them confirmed as such, and not even one of them I myself have doubted that they, or have thought that Munchausen's was a problem. And there are specific symptoms, I won't go into them now, which would indicate whether a person is treating a child inappropriately by feeding them medications or making them ill in some way for the self-gratification of the parent. It rarely happens, but in this particular case, the parents got so distressed and so upset about what was happening that they chose to take legal action. Now, I know, or I have a sense anyway from my conversation with these parents, that they are people that do have the resources in order to take this matter to court. 99.9% of parents who we deal with here at Child Protection Party just don't have those resources. But these parents fortunately do, and this is now what they've done in order to have this matter addressed. Now, I'm just going to read some of the article for you, for those of you that haven't been able to access it. It's on the abc.net.au website, if you care to look there. It's called Court Hears Girl Taken by SA Department for Child Protection after gluten intolerance diagnosis was sexually assaulted. And this is more than just the Munchausen's. So stay tuned. I will tell you more about what happened to this kid as a result of being taken to the department. Read on, Tony. Lawyers for two South Australian girls who were removed from their parents over a gluten intolerance have told the district court that one of them was sexually assaulted while in state care. Now, this in itself is a significant issue, which of course we all must deal with. So there's two issues. The first one is about the parents being incorrectly told that they were taken to the child for help unnecessarily. And the second one is when a child is removed, it is sexually assaulted while in care. Two grave mistakes made by the department. Number one was their own diagnosis and their own assertions around these parents' inability to be able to care for their kids. And the second one was while the child was in their care, it is alleged that the child was sexually assaulted. The Adelaide-based family is suing the state government, claiming Department for Child Protection DCP staff trespassed and falsely imprisoned their two children for 5 months in 2017. David Blythe for the family submitted to the court that his clients wanted to broaden their allegations against DCP to include a sexual assault. So I think what this is meaning is that initially they began with the fact that the child had been removed inappropriately, stolen from them inappropriately. The allegations were dreamt up cases without any sense of being substantiated. And then when the child was returned, my guess is that it was then revealed that the child had been sexually assaulted while in care. One of the girls had raised the issue of being sexually assaulted while in state care, he said. Given her young age, it's a sensitive and difficult issue to take instructions on. We have not formally done that yet, and it's important to note that. Mr. Blythe told the court the girl was currently seeking treatment for the abuse. The court was also told the DCP was yet to file its defence to the case. Interesting to see what DCP have to say about this. Court documents reveal doctors confirmed the youngster's daughter was diagnosed with a non-coalic gluten intolerance when she was 3 years old and needed to consume a gluten-free diet. It stated her parents informed her kindergarten that she needed a special diet, but led to the kindergarten notifying DCP about her low appetite. Both girls were removed from their parents' care for 2 days later. Following the removal at the direction of the state government, the girl was placed on a gluten-containing diet, and as a consequence, she became increasingly ill. So she was given the incorrect treatment. The document stated child psychiatrist John Gerardini diagnosed the girl's mother with Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a form of child abuse where a parent causes symptoms to make it appear their child is sick. But pediatric gastroenterologist David Moore found it was reasonable for the parents to place their daughter on a gluten-free diet, which was backed up by another independent doctor in September 2017. The children were then returned to their parents later that month after former South Australian Senator Nick Xenophon asked DCP to review the case. The parents claimed DCP failed to investigate the girl's medical condition before removing her. So the important issue there, well, one of them was that Nick stepped in. Now, this is one of the advantages of having someone from CPP as a member in the Legislative Council here in South Australia. It's important to have someone representing you because in this case, Nick, thank God, did that and the kids were returned when he intervened. However, it is evident that perhaps the child should never have been taken in the first place because a physician said the diet that the parents had suggested was certainly appropriate. And then Dr. Gerardini, with his wonderful sense of wisdom, now I won't say all that much about John Gerardini because I might get myself into trouble, but if you have an issue around any of the cases that you've had that have been assessed by Gerardini, then I would suggest you might like to contact a lawyer and have a conversation with them about whether they were appropriately diagnosed by him. There have been some question marks around his behaviour, and I think it's appropriate that people seek legal advice to see whether or not there is any action that could be taken. But I guess the main issue here is that if you have an issue that is that you believe could be at least taken to court, I would suggest that you seek some legal advice around that. I don't have a lawyer at the moment who I can suggest that would be prepared to do that. There are some social justice lawyers around who might choose to take your case on a pro bono basis. I suggest you make a heck of a lot of phone calls and find out. And if you do find somebody that is able to represent you in any way, please let us know at DCP so that we can in turn make sure that that lawyer or the information in relation to that lawyer is passed on. So if you've got any comments, I'd be interested to hear from you. We need a new process of determining when a child, thanks Leanne, or children are removed. Unfortunately, child protection system in Australia is a business. There is a place for child protection when children are really at risk, no doubt about all of that. But removal should be the last resort and so on. So thanks very much So look, and thanks for those guys that have logged on. Thanks for those of you that have looked at this video. Couple of other things before I bore you completely silly, is at the moment, if you're in Victoria, we are running a candidate in the Victorian election. He needs some people to nominate for him. So I forgot to put that in here. So if you could contact us, I'll put it in the comments section. And I should have done this earlier, so sorry about that. If you could just contact admin@childprotection.party if you're in Victoria, and let them know that you're prepared to nominate our candidate, would be absolutely fantastic. So, and I can't understand why it's not going through now. If the other thing too we'd like to be able to ask people to do is that if you, it's not working. If you would like to become a member of the Child Protection Party, that would be great. Please do so by going to Child Protection Party at admin@childprotection.party, and let us, and we will send you a application form. It's really important, I think, that people understand that, you know, we're a volunteer organisation. We have very little funds to do the things that we would like to do. We'd like to do what, for example, this family has done, take the department to court when appropriate in relation to their poor behaviour. But, you know, without the funds to do that, we can't represent you in that way. Grateful that this particular family has been able to do that. But your membership helps. And if you want to get involved with us, I had someone the other day contact me and said, look, what are you guys doing? What do you do? Well, we speak to people every day. I've spoken to 2 or 3 people today around child protection issues, spoken to the department on one occasion. And, you know, because we're advocating for you as best as we can on a regular basis. So contact us. Let us know what it is that you want us to do. We will do the best to represent you. And one of the things I do is write a lot of reports for families after I've seen them for some time. So we can help you, and most of that work is free. So contact us. But in order to help us, become a member. Join the Child Protection Party, because that's the way you'll make a difference. If you want your voice to be heard, it's here at CPP that it will be. So contact us, and we will do our best to represent you in whichever way that we can. So thanks everybody for being with me. This is a rare opportunity to do a live feed. I just had to do it because of this particular news item that came across my desk today. So take care, look after yourselves, and be safe.